Depuis plusieurs années, une théorie circule sur Internet. Et si Keanu Reeves n'était pas simplement un acteur, mais un ange déchu, un néphilim vivant parmi les hommes? À première vue, cela peut sembler complètement absurde. Pourtant, des milliers de vidéos et de publications tentent de défendre cette idée en accumulant des coïncidences, des symboles et des interprétations. L'un des premiers arguments avancés concerne ces films. Dans Constantine, Keanu Reeves évolue au milieu d'anges et de démons et affronte directement les forces du mal. Dans L'associé du diable, il joue un avocat manipulé par Satan lui-même. Dans Matrix, son personnage meurt avant de revenir à la vie avec des capacités extraordinaires, ce qui a conduit certains à y voir une symbolique spirituelle. Il apparaît également dans Dracula, 47 Ronin, Replicas ou encore Cyberpunk 2077, des œuvres où reviennent régulièrement les thèmes de l'immortalité, de la mort, de la résurrection ou des êtres au pouvoir surnaturel. Pour certains internautes, cette répétition n'est pas anodine. Mais la théorie ne s'arrête pas là. Il existe un site internet devenu très célèbre appelé « Keanu is Immortal ». On y retrouve de nombreux portraits datant de plusieurs siècles, représentant des personnages qui ressemblent étonnamment à l'acteur. Selon les défenseurs de cette théorie, ces ressemblances seraient la preuve qu'il traverserait les époques depuis des centaines d'années. D'autres analysent certaines de ses interviews. Lorsqu'on lui demande avec humour s'il serait immortel, Keanu Reeves répond simplement en souriant « We roll Stardust, baby ». Pour certains, cette phrase n'a rien de particulier. Pour d'autres, elle cacherait un message plus profond. Ils évoquent également son ancien groupe de musique Dogstar, dont le nom fait référence à Sirius, une étoile très présente dans de nombreuses traditions anciennes. Certains s'intéressent aussi au thème de ses livres, à ses personnages immortels ou encore aux nombreux symboles présents dans les univers dans lesquels il joue. Petit à petit, toutes ces coïncidences sont rassemblées pour construire une théorie beaucoup plus vaste. Mais en tant que chrétien, il est important de faire une distinction essentielle. Oui, la Bible parle clairement des anges déchus. Oui, elle parle également des néphilim dans le livre de la Genèse. Oui, Satan est décrit comme celui qui se déguise en ange de lumière afin de séduire les hommes. En revanche, aucune preuve ne permet pour le moment d'affirmer que Keanu Reeves serait un ange déchu ou un néphilim. Notre foi ne doit jamais reposer sur des spéculations, mais sur la parole de Dieu. La véritable question n'est peut-être pas de savoir si un acteur est un ange déchu. La véritable question est de savoir pourquoi Hollywood utilise aussi souvent les thèmes des anges, des démons, de l'immortalité et du combat spirituel dans ses films. Voici maintenant une vidéo qui présente cette théorie sur Keanu Reeves.
For entertainment purposes, if I wanted to convince you that fallen angels are real, and that they've positioned themselves to be in sight, I'd start with Keanu Reeves, and here's why. First, I noticed a lot of songs in the music industry use his name, and there's a common theme surrounding those lyrics. Here's an example.
Fuck Illuminati, that boy Six got my back. Six make this beat, Six bring the heat, you got on repeat. Six got my back, Six make this beat, Six bring the heat, you got on repeat.
Which, by the way, this is the album cover that song is on. Next, I'd point out the comic book that he did. Not so much the fact that superheroes can be equated to the Nephilim. It was this.
You end up coming up with the storyline and everything. I mean, where do ideas come from? I know, yeah. Sorry, that's a very deep question. Where do they? Yeah. It came to me of just, were you about a character that could punch people through the chest? Yeah. And then, like, what if they were half god, half immortal? And then what if they were alive for 80,000 years? What would you do with this idea? Society do with that? And then he's cursed with violence. He doesn't want to be violent. He doesn't want to be violent. No, but it's in his blood. He can't die, and then he doesn't know who his father is.
Saying he doesn't know who his father is was the cherry on top. Next, I'd say his response when asked about the old photos that look like him. Also on Jimmy Fallon.
Have you ever seen the website KeanuIsImmortal.com or heard about this?
I've heard about it recently. Yeah.
This is fans of yours. You have a lot of great fans out there, and what they do is they find old paintings and old pictures from like the 1500s of dudes that look like you. Okay. So they just think that you've been on the earth since you've just been around. There's just different generations. I just wanted to show you just in case.
We're all stardust, baby.
I know.
Not only does that answer denounce God, but stars symbolically represent the divine beings who rebelled against God. I'd also have to point out some of his movie titles or plots, such as The Watcher, The Devil's Advocate, Constantine, Good Fortune, Exposed, a movie containing angels and demons, The Matrix, Replicas, Johnny Mnemonic, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Dracula. There's more, but I also want to point out that Reeve means overseer, and the Anunnaki are often equated to the Nephilim, crowned nicest man in Hollywood. Even Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Worth noting, all this influence comes out of a city called Los Angeles, which means the angels, aka City of Angels, and they call them stars. Again with the stars. Keanu Reeves is a fallen angel, part 2.
Ask the gods for a weapon because they're being like ambushed and exploited every season, and then they get this kid, and then they get this kid, and they get this kid.
Not only is that an odd thing to say, but he just so happens to be from Beirut, Lebanon, an area where the Phoenicians, often called the Canaanites, have a historical footprint, worshippers of Baal and many other gods. Keanu Reeves is also a founding member of ARC Motorcycles, and just like the meaning of his last name, ARC means ruler, and in Gnosticism, the Archon are supernatural beings that govern the material world. That's where we get archangels. And for those who understand symbolism, it's not by chance that the logo for Arco is an aerial view of a pyramid with the top missing. Pyramid with the top missing. As mentioned in part 1, I want to draw attention back to the fact that stars symbolically represent the divine beings who rebelled against God.
I think that you've been on the earth since you've just been around. There's just different generations. I just wanted to show you
We're all stardust, baby.
I know.
Keanu Reeves was also in a band called Dogstar. Dogstar, also known as Sirius, is not only relevant to this topic, it's also heavily acknowledged throughout many cultures. Upon looking into the band Dogstar, among the first songs I saw were Halo, Slipping Ground, Enemies, and Superstar. Very first lyrics I saw, she says, I got a tortured soul, I got a soul that I don't know. And songs that Keanu Reeves himself wrote, one of them is Denial.
This is a love switch and it feels. I've been my life was making here. You call up at night, screaming about it.
Keanu Reeves also wrote a book, experimental novel about mortality, the slippery nature of time, and what it means to be human. The warrior who cannot be killed, who's seen 1,000 civilizations rise and fall.
What if they were half god, half immortal, and what if they were alive for 80,000 years?
Keanu Reeves also stars in a video game, Cyberpunk 2077, as Johnny Silverhand, which contains satanic symbolism and imagery all throughout it. And for those who ask why he's aged, he really hasn't. For Hollywood has shown us for years what they can do, and it only continues to get better. Worth noting, Hollywood comes from the Druids who used Hollywood to craft wands believed to control animals.
Whenever I feel that there's something in it, I just start saying, Jesus loves me. Like I feel his like I feel his heat. Like I feel his